Hello again, Aiden here, instructor and mentor at NGT Academy, with a quick lesson on host and guest virtual file exchange, or just the ability to pass files and information from your host machine to your guest virtual machine and vice versa, including sharing the clipboard, a feature that you will never really think about until you don't have it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead into VirtualBox and configure these machines so we can exchange information. All right, see you guys in there. One of the things we're going to do today is we're going to set or enable clipboard data sharing between the two hosts, and also we're going to transfer files from host and the guest VM. So when I talk about clipboard data, let's go ahead and bring up this Windows notepad over here. This is outside of the actual operating system. This belongs to Windows. And what I want to do here is I want to copy this on over and I want to paste it into the terminal, and this comes up fairly often. And if I press Control-Shift-V or right-click and paste here, paste clipboard, nothing happens. The reason for this is because there is no bidirectional communication happening between the host and the actual guest virtual machine. This is really simple to resolve. All we would need to do is then go over to Settings, in this case over Machine, Settings right here. We are going to go to Advanced and the Shared Clipboard, so we can go ahead and say, well, in this case, the easiest thing to do here is just set it to a bidirectional. So that means you can paste and copy from the virtual machine into the host machine and vice versa. So in this case, since now that has been enabled, let's go ahead and try that one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here now. Oh, actually, I need to copy this first. Let's copy this data. And then let's go ahead and paste this, Control-Shift-V, and boom, there we go. We have the lorem ipsum dolores et amet Latin typeface, basically your default your default text that you will see quite often. All right, so awesome. That is great. Now you can copy and paste URLs, commands from articles that you would get from your host machine into your virtual machine. Really simple, not even a problem. Now, how do I transfer files from the host and into the host machine or to the guest VM? Now, this is going to be a little bit different because if you take a look over here, if I do an ls here, there is no place where we can actually exchange information right off the bat. Quite easy, actually. All we need to do is actually do a couple things, and then we can share files from our host machine into our virtual machine. Now, first and foremost, we are going to need to establish where we're going to share information to. Now, for me, personally, I'm going to open up my I'm going to open up File Manager over here. In my E drive, I'm going to create an Exchange folder. And in that Exchange folder, I have this one file in there for right now. And that is established to be my Exchange folder where I'm going to share files from guest and host machine. Now, great. So since that has been established, let's go ahead and go over to Settings one more time. Machine, Settings. Let's go ahead and go on over to where it says Shared Folders, and we are going to hit this plus button right here, and we need to establish the folder path. So in this case, it is my E drive, so I'm going to go ahead and browse on over to it, into my E drive, and I'm going to go and set my Exchange folder as the location. Now, the mount point is going to be something that you will need to specify, and you can just copy me. In here, I'm just going to go ahead and set it to mount, MNT in this case, and it's going to be called Exchange right there. Oops, I hit the escape key, so let's try that one more time. Let's go ahead back to E drive, go back to Exchange, select that folder. Mount point is going to be /MNT Exchange right there. I'm going to set it to auto mount. And I'm going to go ahead and make it permanent. So this basically means whenever I restart my machine, it gets auto-mounted or auto-attached, and it's going to be a permanent share between the two devices here. So I'm going to go ahead and make this OK right there. And I am going to press OK. So now I can go on over to cdmnt, and there is an Exchange folder there, cd Exchange. And look at that, I now have the NSA disk image here. And utilizing this disk exchange is actually rather simple. So all we really need to do is essentially just copy whatever files that we want from anywhere in our host machine. So in this case, let me pick up some small files that are not too large over here. And let's go ahead and move these zip files, like these text files over here. And let's just copy them. And we are going to place them into our Exchange directory. I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there, like so. And from there, I can essentially type in ls. And notice here, guys, we have our files. Already in here. Now, the cool part is now essentially that we can just copy images. Now, we don't need to be in the MNT Exchange. We can basically go back to our home directory right there, into our documents directory, for instance. I can just copy MNT Exchange and basically grab whatever files I want through there and say copy it into my current working directory, and boom, oops, get rid of the caps, and boom, right there within my documents directory, I now can basically move around files as needed within the operating system. So to recap everything that we learned today, we learned how to share clipboard data from host and the guest machine, and also we learned how to configure a folder share to exchange files from the host machine into Kali Linux. And also, you can definitely move files from your machine here into mnt.exchange. So you have bi-directional exchange of data between your virtual machine and your host machine. All right, awesome. Well, I hope you guys learned a lot from this lesson today, and I will see you guys in the next lesson where we talk about VirtualBox penetration testing, anything really under the sun. This has been Aiden with NGT Academy. I wish you guys a great one, and I can't wait to see you all next time.
Jacob Hess here. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And I'd also like to remind you, if you're truly serious about your career in information technology, then be sure to check out our IT engineer training programs at www.zerotoengineer.com.